2025 didn't just give us more series, it rewrote the rules. From prison cells to vampire prophecies, love tested by fame, addiction, and ghosts, this was the year the genre truly expanded its emotional and narrative range. And if you've only seen part 1 of our 2025 roundup, you're missing half the picture. Welcome back. In part 1, we covered the early releases that set the tone, but the real surprises came later. March through December brought stories that refused to fit neatly into romance boxes. They leaned into thriller tension, supernatural dread, moral ambiguity, and emotional complexity rarely seen in sapphic narratives from Thailand. This isn't just about who kissed whom, it's about where they kissed, and what they had to survive just to be in the same room. So let's finish what we started. 13 series, 1 turning point, and 0 filler. In March, a quiet but meaningful entry arrived from Her and Hers, a studio that may not have the biggest budget, but clearly has heart. L.L.Project is a miniseries built on friendship, risk, and the messy reality of trying to build something together when life keeps pulling you in different directions. At its center are Ice, Toei, and Noon, 3 friends who pool their dreams, and one very impulsive lone, to open a bar. But as the doors swing open, so do their personal lives. Ice meets Rada in a moment that feels straight out of a rom-com. Sparks fly, time slows, and suddenly, love at first sight isn't just a trope, it's her new reality. Meanwhile, Toei navigates the ache of distance with Ling, proving that absence doesn't always make the heart grow fonder, it can just make it tired. And then there's Nooni, whose recklessness once broke things with Vicky and now faces what might be their last real shot at reconciliation. April brought us Your Apple, the sequel to My Apple. In the first story, after getting her vision back, Chris sees a person in her dreams, but when she wakes up, the only thing she can remember are a pair of eyes. She starts drawing them to help her remember, but when she sees Karn for the first time, she recognizes that the eyes from her dreams are the same as Karn's. Besides that, Chris gets back to work while Karn pursues her career goals, and they must balance the professional with the personal. In Your Apple, a year after being together and Karn becoming more famous, what kind of challenges will Chris and Karn's relationship face? From the same team behind L.L.Project comes Taste of Her, a 2-season series that leans boldly into the supernatural. If you've ever wished Thai GL would flirt with gothic romance or vampire lore, this is your answer. The premise hinges on an ancient prophecy. On the night of a full moon, the blood of a human who's just turned 20 unlocks a vampire's true power. But when darkness falls, something unexpected happens. Not just hunger, but longing. The story asks a deceptively simple question. Can a love built on danger, secrecy, and instinct ever be real? What sets Taste of Her apart isn't just the fangs or the moonlit tension, it's how it uses the vampire myth not as escapism, but as a metaphor for desire that feels forbidden, consuming, and transformative. It's fantasy, yes, but rooted in very human fears about trust, control, and what we're willing to lose for someone we crave. May gave us B.Friend, a story that unfolds like a slow exhale in the misty hills of Khao Yai. After losing her parents, Laline is left holding the weight of her family's resort, trying to stay composed while grief quietly reshapes her world. Then 2 people enter her life, Daohan, a girl with amnesia, and Lan, someone from Leyland's past, whose return stirs up feelings she thought were long buried. What makes B.Friend compelling isn't just the amnesia trope or the scenic backdrop, it's how it frames healing as something that happens between people. Not because love fixes everything, but because being seen, truly seen, can make the unbearable feel survivable. And sometimes, that's enough to spark something new, or reignite something old. Already in August, Club Friday came back with a GL story again, following up on 2024's Love Bully, which starred Engfa and Charlotte. This time, the series returns with A Mother's Mirror, a tale where love may spark between 2 people, But it can only last if both families accept it, especially the mother. The story centers on a young woman so perfect, almost celestial, that no one dares reach for her. She's accompanied by a handsome young man, her closest friend, who's always been by her side. He acts as her personal bodyguard, shielding her from ill-intentioned suitors. Everything shifts, however, when she transitions from friend to girlfriend. In her mother's eyes, this change isn't joyful, it's a warning. She believes he will make her daughter suffer, just as someone once did to her in the past. And if you're wondering where the GL thread truly lies in all of this, look closely at the mothers. That's where the truth of the story lies. September brought more fire, more chaos, and one of Tai GL's most loved villainesses, Mukmani. In Season 1, she carved her path through manipulation, power struggles, and her own emotional walls, only to finally let love in with Prangdao. But if you thought their story would settle into calm after that, think again. Season 2 throws them straight back into the storm. Mukmani isn't just facing old ghosts, she's being relentlessly hunted by Nita, her former rival, who's not ready to let go of their bitter history. And just when it seems like things can't get more complicated, a new threat emerges. Frau, a fresh-faced but dangerously cunning antagonist who stirs up trouble with chilling precision. This season doesn't just raise the stakes, it sharpens them. Because in I Am Devil, love isn't safe. It's something you have to defend, again and again, in a world that rewards cruelty and punishes vulnerability. Moving forward, still in September, we had Love Overdose. Mo and Tar aren't just navigating romance. They're fighting against societal judgment, isolation, and a struggle with addiction. The series doesn't glamorize their pain. It asks whether love alone can be enough to pull two people out of the dark. What makes this story especially poignant is its casting. Playing Tar is Tina, the same actress who, back in 2010, helped launch Thai GL cinema with Yes or No. More than a nostalgic nod, it's a quiet, full-circle moment. The genre's past stepping into its present, now tackling far heavier, more complex terrain. Love Overdose doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it lingers in the tension between hope and realism, showing just how hard addiction is and how deeply it damages. October brought Mission, Love or Lies, where Aichi, a smart female police captain, is assigned to protect Patty, the daughter of a powerful politician recently targeted in an attack. To stay safe, Patty secretly swaps places with her bodyguard Alice in order to keep the mission under wraps. As Aichi works to keep Patty safe, she starts to feel something more than just duty. Love begins to grow, slowly, quietly, in the middle of danger. But strange things begin to happen, and Patty and Alice are both hiding something. What makes this series compelling isn't just the cat-and-mouse tension, but how it frames intimacy as both vulnerability and risk. In a world where identities are fluid and loyalty is tested at every turn, love doesn't announce itself. It slips in quietly, right between the lies. November opened with something Thai GL had never shown before, a love story set behind bars. ClaireBell takes place in prison, not as a backdrop, but as the very engine of its tension, transformation, and truth. Belle, wrongfully convicted of drug possession, enters a system stacked against her. Almost immediately, she becomes a target for a powerful inmate group, until she crosses paths with Claire, a hardened prisoner with a fearsome reputation, someone others avoid at all costs. But Claire isn't just a protector, and Belle isn't just a victim. As their bond deepens, the series refuses to flatten either woman into a trope. They're layered, flawed, and fully realized, each carrying scars, strategies, and secrets that shape how they love, trust, and fight. What makes ClaireBell historic isn't just the setting, it's the refusal to strip away tenderness from a space society deems unworthy of it. In doing so, it expands what Thai GL can be, and where it's allowed to exist. If you're drawn to supernatural suspense, Runaway arrived to deliver exactly that, with a ticking clock and a haunting at its core. With only 168 hours left before death claims her, Runaway finds herself the target of a relentless, vengeful spirit whose dark presence draws closer with each passing second. A chilling voice whispers hoarsely, threatening to take her life and pushing her to the brink of despair. Desperate and alone, she encounters a woman with a cold, indifferent gaze, the only person who holds hope of escape from this haunting pursuit, but her plea is met with merciless rejection. As time slips away, Runaway is forced to confront the shadows of her past, unraveling secrets that reveal a horrifying truth, spiraling toward a tragedy no one could have foreseen. Another Club Friday story, and the one that stood out most to me, was Goodness Wins Hearts. This is the story of a web novelist who's found great success in her career, yet failed miserably in love. One day, she meets a beautiful model, a woman who makes her fall in love at first sight and sparks her desire to open her heart again. Even though her best friend warns her this woman is dangerous, known for her scandalous affairs and casual relationships, she refuses to believe it. She's convinced that if she shows enough kindness and love, she can change her. As their relationship develops, and she does her best to love sincerely and give selflessly, she often forgets to be kind to herself. As her partner continues in her ways, she chooses forgiveness rather than to walk away. And it's only when a shocking truth finally surfaces that she's forced to see what she's been denying all along. Love isn't always redemptive. Sometimes it's just painful, and staying doesn't make you noble. It makes you invisible. To round out November, we got Like a Palette, a university-set story that flips rom-com tropes on their head with wit and warmth. Jane has just stepped into a peaceful and simple university life, but that calm is soon disrupted. Inexplicably, it seems a senior has taken a dislike to her. That senior is Di, last year's university star, who keeps casting unreadable glances at Jane that don't feel friendly at all. The trouble is, Jane has unexpectedly become this year's Faculty of Fine Arts star, and Di, being last year's uni star, is responsible for taking care of the new stars. As a result, they end up meeting far more often than Jane would like. Jane can't help but wonder, why does this senior she barely knows keep smiling at her, peeling shrimp for her, buying her snacks, and occasionally even blushing? Jane's internal monologue says it best. When a girl looks at another girl like that, there's only one explanation. She must really, really hate me. Of course, anyone who's watched a romance knows better. And that's the charm of Like a Palette. It lets us smile at Jane's denial, while rooting for the moment she finally sees what's right in front of her. December closed the year with MuTeLuv, Hello, Is This Luck? A miniseries that blends fate, fortune, and the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, the universe can be nudged in love's favor. MuTeLuv is an anthology series that tells the stories of 7 people who try using supernatural forces to accomplish their goals. This is the story of Nay, a medical student who's full of talent, but no luck. She's always thought that with effort comes success. However, recent events have led her to believe that it all comes down to fortune. For example, Na has fallen for 9, a senior who's beyond her reach. In order to force a change of fortune, Na decides to switch to a lucky phone number. It's then that she meets Limai, and things move forward with her crush. In a year full of prison cells, vampires, and vengeful spirits, Hello, Is This Luck? Ends 2025 on a gentle note, not with chaos, but with possibility. And sometimes that's the most magical thing of all. And that brings us to the end of every Thai GL series released in 2025. From the bold experiment of ClaireBell's prison setting, to the haunting countdown in Runaway, the emotional reckoning in Goodness Wins Hearts, and the quiet hope in MuTeLuv, this was a year that refused to repeat itself. It wasn't just about quantity, it was about range. Supernatural thrillers, addiction dramas, family reckonings, campus comedies, vampire romances, and stories where love had to survive not just hearts, but systems, stigma, and time itself. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go back and check it out. Because together, these two videos capture the full arc of a genre in transformation. And if 2025 taught us anything, it's this. Thai GL isn't slowing down. 2026 is already lining up new releases that promise to be just as daring, if not more. So I'll leave you with this question. Which 2025 series was your favorite? Was it the one that broke your heart, the one that surprised you, or the one that made you see sapphic storytelling in a whole new light? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want to keep up with every new release, deep dive, and update from the Thai GL world, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. More stories are coming, and this channel will be here to talk about all of them.